Tuesday night. Welcome. Thanks for tuning in. So I'm a couple of minutes late tonight. The kids were having a bath and we had a bit of an accident where one of our glass drinking jars got smashed, so I was dealing with that. But thank you for joining, and tonight I am going to be making some sourdough crackers with the discard that you throw away with your sourdough. Every time you feed it, you always end up with leftover sourdough starter, and it feels like a bit of a shame to pour it down the sink because it's still perfectly good. And so what I have here is a container which I've kept in the fridge of all my discard, and pretty much you can accumulate it, keep it in the fridge and use it for so many different things. But one of my favourites is the crackers, and they're so delicious actually. They're light, they're crisp, and so we'll start with that and I'll show you how to make it. So what we need to firstly do is measure out 200 grams. So I've just got my stand mixer. You can do it by hand or in a food processor, whatever is easiest for you. So I'm just going to measure out. I'll do 400. I think I'm going to double the recipe because these crackers are a hit in our house and they really don't last all that long. And it is easier to work with your sourdough starter when it's actually cold and it's been resting in the fridge. Anyone that bakes with sourdough knows, it can be quite runny, if that's the right word to use. So see how much I've got here. I reckon I might just get a double batch out of this one. We're up to 348 grams right now. I think I could get another 50 out of this. It always feels like such a shame just to discard your sourdough starter and at every feed and have it poured down the sink. Or you know what, you can actually put it in your compost as well, which is very enriching for your compost heap. There's a little bit over the 400 mark, doesn't matter too much I suppose. So that is that. The sourdough starter is in your bowl. So I'm doubling the recipe. So normally it's about the 200 grams to start with. But I've put 400 in there. Just trying to wash it off my hands. It's so sticky. Does anyone bake with sourdough at all and have a starter that they're maintaining? So to this I'm going to add about 60 grams of melted butter. So you can use any type of oil. Maybe even macadamia oil, avocado oil, sesame oil if you really wanted to, or regular canola oil, lard, whatever type of fat you can use in this. So about 60 grams for double the recipe. So if you're timesing it just by the one, then you would go about the 30. Sorry, brain freeze again. Now I had a bit of an explosion in my microwave as I was melting the butter, so there's just a little bit short in my melted butter bowl. So I'm just going to top it up with a bit of olive oil. So you can blend it as well. That's not a problem. So I'll just top that up till it gets to about 60 grams. There we go. So to that, you just want to add a bit of salt, so whatever salt you prefer to use also. I like using just pink salt, Himalayan pink salt, so about a teaspoon into that. And whatever herbs you like to use as well. So I have an abundance of parsley at the moment, and the last batch I threw some rosemary in there, and it was really quite nice with a rosemary, cracked pepper, bit of parsley as well, and garlic. But today I'm just going to keep it pretty basic with just parsley and some garlic mince as well, which I use the microplane to mince up. So you pretty much just dump it all into your processor, your mixer, or whatever it is, into your bowl, and just give it a mix together until it all combines. So I'll just get that going. I'll show you guys. Now I've got the dough hook on there. Probably wasn't the best idea to use the dough hook. Maybe the feeding thing would have been better. But it's coming together, so that's alright. I don't know if you can see that, but that's fine. And so now, just grab a spatula. I love this recipe because it's absolutely zero waste. You're not adding extra flour to it either, which so many sourdough discard recipes, they add extra flour to it, and it's like, what's the point? Because you're already adding extra flour when you're feeding the remaining starter. The last thing you want to do is use more flour just to use the discard. So this is really such a great recipe to be able to use the leftover bits. So you can see there, it's all just come together quite easy if you spritz a bit of water onto the spatula and the dough as well. So you just want to do a baking tray with some baking paper, or you can use a silicone sheet if you have one of those, and just give the dough a little spray with water, or if you don't have a spritzer, you can just flick some water onto it just with your fingers or something like that. And you just want to try and spread it out onto your tray as thinly as possible and as evenly as possible as well. So that's always the tricky part. So I find if you start at one end and just work down the tray, that generally is pretty handy. And if it does get sticky, just give it another spray of water. And so you're preheating your oven to about 150, 160, moderately low. Or you can even bake it at a lower temperature if you really want to, and just for a bit longer. So you're basically, and it's perfectly fine. So after that, for about 10 minutes, and then after the 10-minute mark, that's when you can score it as well into whatever shape you like. So if you wanted more uniform even looking crackers. You can do your diamond pattern or squares, rectangles, whatever you like really. If you can't be bothered doing that, that's fine too. You can go for the more rustic look and just break the crackers apart after it's cooled down. It'll just all come off and break apart very easily. So that can be nice as well for like a serving platter or something like that, like a grazing platter, just to have that rustic sort of look there. So it does take a little bit to spread it all out as evenly as you can, and as thinly as you can. If it does, if you do put it on too thick, it's not going to dry out very well, and you'll end up with just really doughy, thick cracker, which isn't too nice. So we're almost there. So I'll show you the ones I've pre-made as well, because these will go into the oven for about, I want to stick around for the 40 minutes to see them done earlier. So that's looking pretty good now. I'll move the camera to show you guys what it looks like. If you can't see that, I don't know. So that's what it looks like there. It's really quite thin. So on about 150 to 60 for about 10 minutes, and then we'll score it and then bake for another 30 minutes until they're dry. You can flip them over as well afterwards, just for an extra few minutes in the oven to make sure that they're completely dried out on the underside as well. Right, chives are really nice to add into this, spring onion too, so it's really quite versatile. You can use any herbs, thyme, whatever you're growing. It's really nice. You can sprinkle some seeds on top, sesame seeds, poppy seeds, flax. I might do that actually. I might sprinkle a few sesame seeds on top. I think that would work really quite well. Never go without in my pantry. There we go, a few sesame seeds. And let's put that in. Right, so someone remind me at the 10-minute mark to check on those. Right, so the other thing I wanted to make today was a dip for you guys. Well, for me really, because I'm going to be eating it. One thing that I really love about this recipe is that it's completely loaded. It's almost like a whole entire meal. And so one thing I did was make my own semi-dried tomatoes. So I'll quickly show you what I did. These are how they turned out today. So that was just done in the air fryer. So I know Ash is the Thermomix queen, but I love my air fryer and my Instapot as well. So what I'm doing here, just a quick little demo on how to get these to make your own semi-dried tomatoes. I've just got regular whole tomatoes, and I've just sliced them into eighths. And so in a bowl, I've got a mix here from when I did those, but it's basically just you throw your tomato pieces in your bowl. You can even just halve them. You don't have to quarter them or cut them or smaller or anything like that, but I just find they dry out a bit quicker when they're smaller, cut smaller, so that way you're not using as much power or gas or the dehydrator or whatever it is that you or however you want to do these. So basically, once your tomatoes are cut to size, so simple. All you would do is toss them through with some olive oil and salt, and to this I added garlic and parsley as well. So another sprinkle of salt, and some cracked pepper. Give that a good mix. I've got plenty of garlic left over in that bowl as well, so I won't put any extra in. And so you'll see here there's the tomato, the parsley, the garlic, and there's already olive oil mixed into that. So then into the air fryer or an oven, and I did these at about... Oh, we're back. Sorry, guys. I saw there was a bit of a disconnection there. So if you can even do them at, say, 100 degrees for maybe an hour to an hour and a half. You can just check on them and see what texture you like them at and how dried you really like them. So these were in 120 for 1 hour, and you can see how beautiful they are. So these are semi-dried. So I'm going to be dolloping these on top of the dip once that's done. So another thing I wanted to show you guys was roasting your own capsicum. Same thing, I do these in the air fryer also. So I've got 3 capsicums there, just coating them with olive oil. These have some olive oil in there from a batch I did earlier. So it's just coating them very simply with olive oil, sprinkle of salt, cracked pepper, and you put these in your air fryer or oven on high. So as high as it goes. My air fryer only goes up to 200, which kind of sucks, but it does the trick. So you want to do these on high because you want the skin to sort of char a little bit even. And then once they're cooked, so these took maybe 20 minutes, they don't take long at all. Once they're softened and they're starting to collapse a little bit, that's when they're ready. So that's when you would pop them into a container with a lid. So I just use a reusable container, and you want them to sweat it out. So while they're hot, you pop them in your container, and then the skin will easily peel off. So we'll be adding these to the mixture I'm doing for the dip. So yeah, your capsicums are roasted, your tomatoes are semi-dried. So I'll just leave that for a bit later. And so one of the other components I'm going to put on my dip is just some sauteed chard. So it's from the Warragul Community Gardens as well. Beautiful rainbow chard and silver bait. So hopefully I can keep my phone up. There we go. So here, I'm just warming up my pan. I'll grab some butter. Oh no, I think I'll use olive oil actually. Nice drizzle of olive oil. Just getting that pan up to heat, and here I've just got some chopped up garlic. So this is just a really simple accompaniment to go on top of the dip we're making, which is going to be a hummus. I don't know if I mentioned that earlier, so I'm just going to grab the salt. I'll be right back. So you basically just want to wilt the chard. So you can use spinach if you like as well for this. Any leafy green, kale would be really nice on this as well. I like to put the vegetables in first because I hate the taste of burnt garlic. So I'll just get that going. Trying to find the right cooking tool. Pan's on high, so it's a high heat. Where am I at? Bit of salt. It's a great way to use up your greens as well if you've got them growing. And at the moment, silver beet and chard is in abundance at the community gardens in Warragul. So it's a really, really nice way to be able to use the produce that's available for the season as well. So it's starting to wilt down now, and be a good time to add in some diced garlic. So this was one massive, oh no, it was only half a massive clove of Australian garlic. So I picked up some beautiful garlic today at Gippsland Wholesale Fresh. The cloves on it were massive, and at $50 a kilo it was quite pricey, but you know what, when it comes to quality Australian grown produce, the flavour is a lot more potent as well, it's stronger, so you actually use less of it, you don't really need as much. But garlic is one of my most favourite things on the planet, so I tend to go through a fair bit. So I'll just turn it down a little bit now. And what I'm going to do is add a little bit of cumin as well to this. So all these flavours are going to blend together with the hummus, and the smell of the cumin as it's toasting on the pan is just absolutely divine. And you can have a little taste as well, just to make sure there's enough salt in there. Oh, yum. So simple, but amazingly good. That's perfect just the way that is. So, what I'm going to do is just pop that back into the bowl that I had it in before. Now, cooking with cast iron, often, I've learned my lesson now, but you forget how hot the handles get, so I tend not to grab and touch the handles because it can get very hot, and it's a lesson learned when you burn yourself. So just want to put those above the comments so you can see all that chard has wilted down to this stage. It's still holding a bit of shape, so it's not like completely overcooked and sloppy and gross, because I mean, who likes sloppy overcooked veg? No one. Right, so we'll leave that there to cool down and we'll move on to making our hummus. Actually, let's check on those crackers before I forget. Grab a knife. Here we go. So, sorry guys, I know this isn't the best view right now. That's what it looks like after about the 10-minute mark. I'll just pop you guys back up there for a sec. Right, so now we can easily score it into our desired shape. Would help if I had a decent knife. Careful, don't burn your fingers. I'm the worst with this. I'm always reaching into the... Sorry guys, it looks like we're having a few connection issues tonight. Maybe it's my dodgy connection. I'm always dropping in and out. So once you score these, pop them back into the oven. There we go. Not sure if you guys can see that. So the lighting in my kitchen's terrible. So that'll go in for about another half hour or so. And that's just set onto about 150 to 160. Right, so let's move on to the hummus. And where are we? There we go. So I've just drained the hummus. The chickpeas. So it's just 1 tin of chickpeas. And while I was roasting the capsicum, I actually put these whole cloves of garlic in there. So these are the Australian garlic, massive. So I'm going to make a really garlicky hummus, and that's just the skin on there still, which I'm just peeling off. So that's that. So in goes the chickpeas, which are drained. There's about a 1/4 cup here of tahini. I think that weighed about 60 grams, something like that. So in that goes. We've got some lemon juice here as well, so you can add as much or as little as you like depending on how tangy you like it. So there was about 1/3 of a cup there, so I'll see how it goes. I'll whiz it up and then do a taste test before adding any more. Sorry guys, I'm back and forth everywhere. Some olive oil as well, so a couple of tablespoons of that. Some salt. And then also some cumin powder. So anywhere from half a teaspoon to a teaspoon of cumin powder works really nicely as well with hummus. So to that, you just put it all in your food processor and just whiz it up. It would help if it was clicked in and locked in. There you go. Add a bit of parsley as well. So I've got some parsley here, which is chopped up. So I'll give that a little taste. And sometimes you might just need a bit more acidity. If the lemon juice isn't quite enough for you, you can also add in some white wine vinegar. That works quite well. I think I'll add the rest of the lemon juice in actually. Salt-wise, I think there's enough in there, so I really don't think it needs any more than that. We'll just let that go for a few more minutes. So what we'll do now is the topping for the hummus. So this here is just some smoked rainbow trout fillets in oil. You can use tuna, sardines, kippers, anchovies, whatever you like really. Hi Ash, how are you? Good to see you here. So this is a 110 gram tin. It's just the one tin. So into my mixing bowl, what we're going to do is mix all this stuff together. So we've got the smoked trout fillets, fish fingers now. Some diced red onion. So again, add as much or as little as you like. I tend to like a lot of onions, so I think I'll just put the whole lot in. So there's about 30 grams I think here. Then we've got some chopped up green olives. So here is about a quarter cup, something like that, 50 grams it was. Some fresh chopped parsley. And some lemon zest. So there's about zest from one lemon here. So I used the zest from the lemons that I juiced. So there's less wastage there as well. I'm using the skin as well. That's right. Now we have the roasted peppers. So from the roasted peppers, you can see me here, pretty much just the skin peels right off. It's so easy. And I just use, I roast them whole. I don't bother halving them and de-seeding them. It's just more effort, I find, because you're going to be chopping them up anyway. And you can store these in olive oil. So you can roast a whole batch, store them in oil, make sure they're covered in oil. You don't want any of your peppers exposed to air if you're storing them. Best kept in the fridge, and I'd probably do a 50-50 olive oil to vegetable oil mix. So with the peppers, you just want to roughly chop them up. Turn that off. Sorry, I know it was very loud. So we're just chopping off some of those roasted peppers now. Just roughly dicing, so I just slice them into slivers and then just dicing them up. And they're just so soft and pliable, they're just beautiful. So add that also to your mixture. Give that a mix with some olive oil. Just a little drizzle. And some Worcestershire sauce too. So about half a tablespoon. Mix all that together. So with that, that was just one whole roasted pepper or capsicum. I think it's the Americans in Northern Hemisphere which call them peppers. And so this mixture here is really quite lovely to use as a bruschetta mix even. I love having this for breakfast, just on a piece of toasted sourdough or crackers even. They're just so, it's just really quite yummy. So that's the mixture there. You've got your roasted peppers, onion, parsley, olives, lemon zest, from roasted peppers. I already said that, didn't I? Give it a taste. Use a little bit of salt. I also feel like acidity. So I think I'm going to put in some red wine vinegar. You can use lemon juice as well. Just a little bit of that red wine vinegar in there. Let's give that another taste. Perfect. Just that little bit of acidity has really just lifted the whole dish up. It's just so good. Okay. So we've got a just a serving dish now. Just want to spoon some of that hummus. When it comes to your food processor, it's trying to get things out cleanly and not wasting all that yummy goodness that's left on the blade. So you've got that beautiful hummus that's been spooned into your serving bowl. Just move everything over. So you can see that there. And what I'm just going to add to that now, just to finish it all off and tie it all together. So I've got that chard from earlier. Just sprinkle that over a bit. Then we've got the smoked trout mixture here. We'll put some of that right on top in the middle. So this is a completely loaded dip. We've got the semi-dried tomatoes here. So just a few of those. I've got goat feta here. You can use regular feta or whatever feta you like. Doesn't have to be goat feta. But yeah, goat cheese is one of my favourite things on the planet. I've also got some hard-boiled egg here, which I've diced up smaller. Some back again. Oh, nice, Ash. I'm glad that you were able to use that salsa recipe. So here I've just got some toasted seeds. So normally I do toasted pine nuts, but I didn't have any today. So I've just got a mixture here of sunflower seeds, flaxseed, black and white sesame, which I've toasted. And just give that a sprinkle over also. Oh, making a mess here. And that's your dip done. Would you look at that? It's just beautiful. I can't wait to get those crackers into there. Paisley, darling. Yeah? Can you bring over that jar of crackers? Okay. Thank you. So this is a loaded dip for sure. So pretty. And over here we have the sourdough crackers that I made the other night. Same recipe, and you'll see that these will be able to be stored at room temperature in an airtight container. They're really, really quite delicious. They're thin, they're crispy. You see those there. And so you just dig in, you just grab your cracker into the hummus and the dip and dig in. So good. This is my dinner tonight. Thanks for watching, everyone. And I hope you enjoyed my recipe with a loaded dip and sourdough crackers. Ciao.